The Galactic Council chamber stretched impossibly wide, its crystalline walls refracting the light of a dozen suns. Ambassador Marcus Chen sat motionless in his gravity chair, a speck of flesh and bone among titans. To his left, the Vraxian delegates, four arms gestured with mechanical precision, each limb capable of crushing starship hulls. To his right, the Thulkar representative's chitinous shell gleamed under the artificial lighting, built to survive in the vacuum of space itself. They called him fragile. Marcus had heard the whispers echoing through the chamber's translation matrices for months now. The soft skin, the water bag, the breakable one. Today those whispers would fall silent. The void plague spreads beyond our projections, announced High Chancellor Zethtar, her serpentine form coiled around the central speaking pillar. 17 systems lost, 43 billion souls consumed. The infected fleets approached the core worlds. Marcus watched the holographic display unfold before them, a creeping darkness that devoured everything in its path. Ships, stations, entire planets reduced to writhing masses of corrupted matter that hungered for more. The plague didn't just destroy. It perverted, turned the very essence of civilization into instruments of cosmic horror. Our strongest battleships fall within hours of contact, rumbled General Korthax, the draconian military commander, whose scales could deflect plasma artillery. Our most advanced AIs become corrupted in minutes. Nothing we build can withstand it. The ethereal conclave's psionic barriers lasted mere seconds, added Seer Velnia, her translucent form flickering with contained energy that could reshape matter at the molecular level. Even our transcended consciousness cannot touch this corruption without being consumed. One by one, the greatest powers in known space admitted their helplessness. Races that had conquered galaxies, beings who had ascended beyond physical form, empires spanning millions of worlds, all brought low by an enemy that turned their greatest strengths against them. Marcus remained silent, watching, listening, learning. Perhaps, Chancellor Zethtar said finally, her multifaceted eyes falling upon the human delegation, we should evacuate the remaining populations, abandon the affected regions entirely. No. Marcus spoke for the first time in 3 hours, his voice barely audible above the chamber's ambient hum. The assembled delegates turned toward him, some in curiosity, others in barely concealed disdain. General Korthax's battle-scarred muzzle twisted into what might have been amusement. The human speaks, the draconian growled. Tell us, Softskin, what wisdom does your fragile species offer? What can flesh and blood accomplish where godlike powers have failed? Marcus stood slowly, feeling the weight of 1,000 alien gazes upon him. He was neither the strongest nor the fastest nor the smartest being in this chamber. His homeworld had been a backwater colony when these civilizations were already ancient. His species had barely mastered interstellar travel when others were transcending physical existence itself. But he was human, and humans had something these godlike beings had forgotten. You're right, Marcus said, his voice carrying clearly through the translation matrices. I am fragile. My bones break easily. My skin tears. I need constant atmosphere, warmth, food, water. I can't survive in vacuum. I can't reshape matter with my thoughts. I can't exist as pure energy. He gestured toward the holographic display of encroaching darkness. But I can do something none of you can do anymore. And what is that? Chancellor Zethtar's tone carried the patience of speaking to a child. I can be afraid. Silence fell across the chamber like a physical weight. Marcus continued, his voice growing stronger. You've evolved beyond fear, transcended it, conquered it. But fear isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's what keeps you alive when everything else fails. And right now, you need that wisdom. He walked toward the central display, each step echoing in the vast space. The void plague doesn't just consume matter and energy, it feeds on perfection, on advanced systems, on transcended consciousness. Every time you throw your greatest weapons at it, you're giving it more fuel. The human reached the holographic projection and gestured to its writhing darkness. But humans? We're not perfect. We're chaotic, irrational, inefficient. We build things that barely work, held together by hope and stubbornness. Our technology runs on controlled explosions and desperate calculations. Our ships are flying scrap heaps compared to yours. You speak in riddles, Seer Velnia whispered, her form flickering with confusion. No. Marcus smiled grimly. I speak of survival. The plague can't corrupt what's already broken. It can't improve what's held together by duct tape and prayer. And it can't predict what we'll do next because half the time neither can we. He turned back to face the assembled delegates. Give me a fleet, not your best ships, your worst ones, not your elite forces, your misfits and rejects, not your advanced AIs. Give me humans with pocket calculators and coffee-stained manuals. General Korthax leaned forward, his massive form casting shadows across the chamber floor. You would face annihilation with primitives. Not primitives, Marcus corrected. Survivors. Because when gods fall, it's not another god that saves the day. It's the fragile things that bend instead of breaking. The imperfect things that find a way forward when the perfect path is blocked. The silence stretched for long moments. Then Chancellor Zethtar spoke, her voice carrying a note of something that might have been hope. How many ships do you need? All of them, Marcus replied without hesitation. Every rust bucket, every decommissioned freighter, every ship you've written off as worthless. Give them to humanity, and watch us do what we do best. Survive against impossible odds through sheer, bloody-minded stubbornness. 3 months later, the Void Plague met humanity's ragtag fleet at the edge of the Nexus system. Ships held together with spare parts and determination faced off against cosmic horror itself. The battle lasted 18 hours, and when the darkness finally retreated, confused, stalled, unable to adapt to the beautiful chaos of human unpredictability, the giants of the galaxy understood. They had called him fragile, but Marcus Chen and his species had proven that sometimes fragility was the strongest armor of all.